Lennie from Of Mice and Men is a dog. So Lennie is a dog. Now, that wouldn't be a very nice thing to say to a person or a friend or a family member, but we're not saying it about a human being. We're saying it about a character in a story. So what we are really saying is that Lennie is figuratively a dog. Um, some helpful rules for you to live by in English class, and a heuristic is very simply just a general rule that if you follow, you're better off if you don't. It's not 100%, but it's close enough. Everything is an abstraction until proven otherwise. So everything is a metaphor or a symbol. Everything means something more than what is literally said or was literally written. So if you start thinking about literature and approaching writing in such a way, then you're going to be better off than if you don't. You're going to start finding things, you're going to develop your spidey sense, and you're going to start finding things in literature that you otherwise would not. Everything connects with other texts until proven otherwise. So get in the habit of thinking of other things that you've read, other things you've seen, other things you've heard in songs, other things you've learned in class. And always keep in mind that Lennie is not a literal person. He's a character, and his interactions with other characters and with the harshness of the world will help to develop the themes in Of Mice and Men. His interactions, particularly with George, with other people who are working on the ranch, and as I said before, the harshness of the environment. So most of us have heard the phrase "a dog is a man's best friend." Well, Lennie is George's best friend. He's his absolute and best friend. It is the setting of Mice and Men is uh, could be described as harsh, unforgiving, selfish, uh, unfair, and so in this environment, what George and Lennie have is each other. I have you to look after me, and you got me to look after you. All right. So Lennie is George's best friend. Uh, Lennie is explicitly described as an animal, not always a dog, but certainly animal-like. So Lennie follows George as a dog might follow his owner. Lennie is a bear dragging his paws. Lennie drinks water like a horse. Lennie imitates George exactly. For those of you who have dogs or have seen pet dogs, you know what that is. And then Lennie's whimpering cry is very reminiscent of taking what would you say? Taking a toy away from a dog, or if you're eating a meal at home and you have a dog and the dog is whimpering and crying and begging, uh, this to me is more animal-like um, than it is a grown man. All right, and then the type of anger. So anger is a motif that is found throughout Mice and Men. George frequently gets angry. Curly gets angry. Lots of characters get angry in lots of different ways, but Lennie gets angry in a very specific way. When Lennie he gets mad in a protective way. He gets mad like a guard dog. He gets mad like, again, if you have a dog and let's say your door is open and some other person or dog or car goes by, everybody knows that the dog starts barking at this possible home invader, even if it's just a person taking a morning walk. So um, as George is describing the farm that they're one day going to buy and the rabbits that Lennie's going to have, George mentions to Lennie, "You're going to have to watch out for those rabbits. These cats are going to, or else these cats might get your rabbits. The cats will kill your rabbits." And George, of course, becomes a guard dog. "You just let them get the rabbits. I'll break their necks." Right? This is what you can imagine a dog is thinking as he's barking at the people walking by the house. Lennie is getting beat up by Curly. Lennie's just taking it because George earlier told Lennie, just, don't get into any trouble. So Lennie is just allowing Curly to beat the heck out of him until, of course, George cups his hands around his mouth and shouts out, get him, Lennie." So in other words, he's saying, sick him, boy. Um, and then later on, when it's just Crooks and Lennie by himself, Steinbeck kind of hits it on the nose and calls him literally a dog. Crooks, the character Crooks says they'll tie you up with a collar like a dog. Lennie gets it in his mind that someone's actually trying to hurt George, and he says, and he becomes very defensive. He becomes very guard dog like again. "Who hurt George? I'm going to hurt whoever hurt George." I have 13 seconds left. Lennie has to get put down. So, spoiler alert: Candy regrets not shooting his own dog, George takes that responsibility. It's a oh, there goes my time.